The following episode of Mondo Thingo is rated MA for mature adult audiences. It contains violence.
Welcome to Mondo Thingo.
Tonight, how you're being marketed to without even knowing. Why some people think it's not just the limelight that Quentin Tarantino steals. And what wealthy Americans use to spoil their kids and their pets.
Hello and welcome to Mondo Thingo, the most entertaining half hour of television since the Queen got plastered one Christmas and spent 30 minutes outing her footman. Tonight we're up to the apricots in everything from Quentin Tarantino's many influences to the kitsch songs of Eurovision. But first, let's see what's been happening this week to the future Where Are They Now crowd. Oh, brother. Big Brother's about to invite us back to his Gold Coast pad for the 4th time. And something will be different. Word on the street, Huggy Bear says, is that the private eviction nomination room is no more. The housemates will have to do it face to face. You heard it here first. Unless we're wrong, in which case you heard it on Rove first. No, this isn't the ugliest model in the world. It's Bob Dylan appearing in an ad for the lingerie company Victoria's Secret with his song Lovesick. Bob's never done a commercial before and he won't say why he did this one. But a huge fee and first-class trip to Venice to hang out with several underwear supermodels probably had something to do with it. For me, celebrating a square's birthday usually means sending David Koch a birthday card. But New York has just thrown a bash for the 100th birthday of Times Square, named after the New York Times paper, which has its headquarters there. And like many ageing celebrities, the once seedy precinct has cleaned up its act.
I thought I would feel threatened. I thought it would be a little bit dangerous, and you know, you've heard all the stories and everything. But I can't get over how safe I feel.
Just so long as he doesn't get into any arguments with Donald Trump. And is there any truth to the scurrilous rumours about David Beckham and Jackie Chan? Well, we won't know till we start them, will we? So go with us on this one. And Jackie is a girl's name. The Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation, or GLAD to its friends, has just had its glittering LA Awards honouring fair and positive media representations. Julianne Moore was a deserving recipient for her compelling performance in The Hours, but she's also up on some other gay issues.
I think that gay marriage is a vote for marriage everywhere. In a sense, we're feeling that marriage is in jeopardy, and yet here's this group of people who are saying, we choose this, we choose this for ourselves. Also on the red carpet was the fetching Queer Eye for the Straight Guy ensemble. But they weren't here last year, and for a very good reason.
We were absolute nobodies just a year ago.
And the team doesn't flinch from pushing a radical agenda.
You could be a fashion stylist and be gay. Who knew? Or a colorist.
And I think we're all grateful for the people who sort of went before us. People like Ellen DeGeneres, who did really courageous open.
Paul Lind.
Ernie.
I'm opening the doors for gays in the decorating field, so I feel really good about that.
What's next? Gay caterers? I mean, my gosh, it's crazy.
Hairdressers,
smashing the pink ceiling, quite frankly.
What are the chances the other guys find Carson really annoying? George, Shirley, hi. We've got that segment tonight on the Eurovision Song Contest. Got me thinking.
Uh-oh.
Well, you know how I actually cut my showbiz teeth in musical theatre?
Uh-oh.
I think it's time that I sang a song on Mondo Thingo.
Richard, the alarm, please. Do you think that's a good idea?
Yes, and so does my contract.
Oh, let me see. Oh, ironclad. In every series, she's entitled to perform a magic act, 2 tap routines, or a song.
Or a song. So at the end of tonight's show, I'll be singing.
Richard!
The everyday type advertising is all well and good, but there are only so many bus sides a girl can absorb in a single afternoon, which is where viral marketing comes in. Say an attractive stranger in a bar asks you to buy them a particular brand of drink. Is it seduction, or are they a paid actor trying to create brand awareness? And who cares so long as they come across? I think it's always worth being suspicious of a fellow shopper who casually says, "Have you tried these new tampons? They're tampontastic." Now, obviously, everyone should be told about this underhanded manipulation marketing. So before this next story, why don't you phone all your friends and tell them Mondo Thingo's on?
Last week I went into a shop that was the MAC makeup artist in Paddington. I wanted everything in there. It was so good. You just get something little, not too much.
You might not realise it, but what you're watching is not just a simple interaction between a hairdresser and her client. In fact, it's an undercover advertising campaign using new marketing techniques.
I was really pleased with their stuff. They've got a really good range. They've got a new range for autumn.
Whisper marketing is a technique that we use to generate word of mouth.
Well, viral marketing is really just like it says. It's like catching the flu.
Whisper marketing, or viral marketing, or buzz or roach marketing, harnesses a concept as old as language, people recommending products and services to each other.
Some of their things are expensive, but I think it's worth it because it's stuff you can use over and over again.
This hairdresser's sales pitch has been devised by Monique Halen of public relations firm Love PR.
Hairdressers and massage therapists are great because they have that one-on-one contact with someone, sometimes up to an hour and a half. So it's a way of trying to get your message in when, someone is relaxed and they're perhaps not thinking about that.
Viral marketing began back in the early 90s when an unknown webmail company called Hotmail had a growth explosion, which was partly sparked by free email taglines at the end of every mail. Word spread like syphilis as Hotmail users infected their friends.
At the river mouth, the bears catch only the tastiest, most tender salmon, which is exactly what we at John West want.
This cleverly produced and funny ad provoked millions of potential consumers to email the ad to millions more in a wildly successful viral campaign.
Oh, look, an eagle!
However, marketers have to be careful. While a kick in the cods for an angry bear worked a treat, the fate of this cat has sparked outrage from animal welfare groups and had the car company it plugs scrambling to distance itself from the ad. The threat of backlash is never far away, particularly when consumers realise that what they thought was a normal social interaction has actually been sponsored.
It's not very honest as far as I'm concerned, and I think people are really looking for some honesty in their marketing and brandings.
Jane Evans runs her own advertising agency in Sydney.
I wouldn't have any problem with somebody coming up with a T-shirt with the name of the product that they're describing on, or giving out materials of the product that they're describing. I think that would take away a lot of the dishonesty of it.
Orange, carrot and ginger and strawberry and banana. You can try more than one. How much are they to buy one?
There's no doubting what's being sold here. When Tim Pethick decided he wanted to launch a fruit juice brand, he implemented a whisper marketing campaign.
Word of mouth is fundamentally important to our entire strategy. I think consumers feel like they're over-advertised to at the moment. They're immune, in a sense, to the messages that they're getting.
Campaigns like this one can turn a tiny niche business into a big success without the massive expense of traditional media advertising campaigns.
I said, well, what about if we got consumers to be our evangelists? When we were doing sampling events, when we were interacting with consumers, we gave them brochures that said, we want nudie, go and visit your local store, the store that you want to stock nudie, and give this to them and ask them to stock nudie for you. And it worked. People went out and they did that.
Tim's company didn't pay these people to spread the word, but Love PR has a more formal arrangement with its so-called ambassadors.
Some ambassadors are provided a fee. Other ambassadors have provided product, so we really work it out depending upon the campaign. It's very important that the people that are out talking about the product and using word of mouth to spread the word about products believe in the product. I think there is the risk of a backlash. If it's a bad product, you can't go out and saying great things about it.
Ross Honeywell of the Centre for Customer Strategy believes that viral marketing is an excellent way of targeting high-spending neo-consumers, but warns that any sneakiness will only backfire on the marketer.
Viral marketing is perfectly ethical if what you're doing is communicating a fabulous idea to other people who are happy to spread it. People who spread it most are these neo-consumers. They're savvy, they're really smart, they really get it. And anybody who tries to market to them in unethical ways will A, be spotted very quickly, and B, be rejected.
Mondo Lingo, providing the must-have words for your vocabulary. This week, radical cheerleading. Described as activism with pom-poms, this uses all the tricks of ordinary cheerleading, except the promiscuous and underweight football nymphettes are replaced by activists. And the vacuous rhymes about footballers are replaced by rhyming social comment. Though right now it'd be easy to make social comment about footballers, allowing that recreational drugs is a tough one to rhyme.
The Eurovision Song Contest is an annual pop music extravaganza where European countries battle it out for the honour of having the least bad song. And even though the performers go through an exhaustive selection process in their own countries, when the big night finally arrives, it's like they've all been handpicked by Maria Venuti. Some of the performers are so dreadful they're good, and some are so good they're ABBA, who got their big break at Eurovision 30 years ago. A full 5 years before I was even born. Shut up. And again, guiding Australian viewers through the SBS broadcast this year is Australia's own Mr Eurovision, Des Mangan. Welcome to Mondo Thingo.
Oh, thank you, Amanda.
Now, it's a funny phenomenon, isn't it? Because it seems that no matter what's happening in the world, politically or musically, you'll never see any of that reflected in Eurovision.
Oh, no, I mean, the Berlin Wall came down and they still had, you know, boom, bang, bang, la, la, la going on at Eurovision.
La La gets a good run, doesn't it?
Spain, 1968, the most la las in a Eurovision song, 138 in 3 minutes.
They forgot the lyrics, come on.
That's what I thought.
Well, speaking of the lyrics, there are some truly tortured songs. What are some of your favourite song lines?
Song lines? Probably one was an Israeli entry back in the 70s, which translated into which came first, the egg or the apple, which is, you know, one of my favourite songs translates into the smell of your lips is like rain, which is a Lithuanian entry. Now,
Terry Wogan is famous as the, sort of the acerbic throwaway comments that he makes about all the performers. If we've got Terry, why are you going, Des? Just on a jaunt to Turkey.
No, I think that Terry is very, you know, Eurocentric. I mean, when Terry goes on and makes jokes about Ulrika Johnson and Chris Tarrant, that means nothing to someone in Australia.
Yeah. Now, some of the finalists this year, as you say, all the countries have already done all their selection processes.
Yep.
You've picked 3 of your favourites.
For varying reasons, yes.
All right, well, let's talk us through the first one.
Well, the first one is Albania. And the reason I picked Albania is because it's for its high production values in the video. And also because it's their first year at Eurovision. So I thought we'd give them a shot.
How strange the feeling in your soul when love invades your very being. Another me or so I'm told, and life takes on another meaning. Day after day I go through the motions, stumbling my way. Life is a blur.
I see what you mean by the production values.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
That screams Eurovision, doesn't it?
Oh, no, I'm just impressed they actually did the whole, you know, interpretive dance thing.
What about the next one?
Well, the next one's Malta. And the reason I picked the Maltese one, because it's actually sort of part opera and part pop. And it vaguely reminds, and even though you're too young to remember, it vaguely reminds me of Renee and Renato.
Oh, yeah. OK, let's have a look.
Though I can fly away, stay cool or run away, I choose to hold your life more than one night.
You are everything and nothing you want. What do you mean? Our love goes from the north to the south. I disagree. Just can't understand anymore what we have in common.
That one actually is real Eurovision, isn't it? It's got the Eurovision sound to it.
And a bit further on in the clip, it just gets better and better because these CGI dolphins suddenly appear from nowhere for no reason. So.
Now, this third one you actually think might win?
This is up in my top 5 or so. I think there's going to be Germany, Denmark, Cyprus, Belgium, or this one. This is the Turkish one. And the reason I like this one is because it's my first example of Turkish ska music.
Coming up now. What to do and what you
look, isn't it, for
I know.
Eurovision?
See, yeah, the whole shaved head and tattoos, and their favourite band in their CV. It says their favourite band is the Sex Pistols.
When are we actually seeing the Eurovision Song Contest? When's it happening?
Well, there's a week of TV shows starting this Saturday night called Countdown to Eurovision, where you can see all 36 songs. Then on Friday night, at 7:30, I think, you will see the qualifying round, which has 22 songs.
Now,
come on, stick with it. There's not enough Eurovision. That's on the Friday night, and then on the Sunday night, you will see 10 of the songs from the qualifying round, plus 14 songs are already there.
Well, torture.
Yeah, I know. No, it's great.
Well, travel safely to Turkey, won't you?
I will.
Don't forget to take the Australian national costume, a pair of thongs.
Oh, yes, of course. Good idea. Yes, representing Australia at Eurovision.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Matta.
So, Des, I hope you're going to hang around for my song at the end of the show.
Oh, Amanda, I mean, if I'm prepared to fly halfway across the world and see a band like Guido Horn and the Orthopaedic Stockings belly flop at Eurovision, there's no way I'd miss it.
Sorry?
Can't wait.
Now, to help me with the next segment, please welcome back that elite vocal athlete, Triple J's and Mondo Thingo's Robbie Buck. Hi, Robbie.
Hi there, Amanda.
Your game coming back.
Yes.
Now, knowing Robbie as we do, we knew he'd jump at the chance to get on the office bike. But it's not the bike we're looking at today, it's this. It's called a turbo spoke, and it makes noise. Now, kids have always put cards in their bike spokes to make some extra clatter, but this, well, exhaust-looking thing is actually an acoustic chamber, and it turns that feeble card clatter into something like living under your very own flight path. Well, we have a listen. Off you go, Robbie. Doesn't that sound great? Now, depending on the setting, the brochure says you'll get the throaty roar of a Harley, or the warble, oh dear, of a V8. So now kids on bicycles can break the footpath laws and the noise pollution laws at the same time. Actually, the makers say that all this extra noise is actually a safety feature for bike riding kids, and it is, right up until your neighbours set their Rottweilers on them.
If the kids get these, I reckon we should get air rifles.
Good point. Now, obviously, this is great for kids who want to pretend they're in a motorcycle gang, but please note the My Little Methamphetamine Lab is sold separately. Thanks for joining us, Robbie. Now, kids, remember, Robbie's a professional. Please don't dress like this at home. And now, Mondo Cheat Notes. And this week, we're looking at Quentin Tarantino, the celebrated director of Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction and Kill Bill 1 and 2. Now, Tarantino is easily one of the most imitated modern filmmakers, though he admits he's also an imitator himself. As he once said, great artists don't pay homage, they steal. Though where he stole that quote from, I'm not quite sure.
You can just leave it by the door.
With Kill Bill Volume 2, once again Quentin Tarantino has turned borderline film plagiarism and controversial violence into a hit film. And he isn't afraid to say it.
You're like a big fish in a big sea.
But Tarantino actually entered the movie business on the very ground floor.
I got you. You thought I didn't see.
While working at the shop, he made his first film, My Best Friend's Birthday. But it was a clumsy amateur film which he never finished. It was his writing that was creating real opportunities. Tarantino's script for Natural Born Killers was picked up by Oliver Stone. However, Tarantino felt Stone's cartoonish interpretation of his screenplay ruined it. His script for True Romance fared better. With Tarantino's own film obsession spotlighted, as Christian Slater watched a double feature of Sonny Chiba films, The Street Fighter and The Return of the Street Fighter. But it was his script fee for True Romance that was most important, funding his first professional directing gig. The video store geek was firmly in the director's chair, and now Tarantino could start being inspired by, some would say, plagiarising his influences. The colour coding and naming of the criminals.
Mr. Blue, Mr. Orange, Mr. Pink.
Why am I Mr. Pink?
Is from the 1974 film The Taking of Pelham 123.
Will you go back and sit down? I do not want Mr. Gray and Mr. Brown alone with the rest of the passengers.
The suits worn by the gang are modelled exactly on those in John Woo's A Better Tomorrow 2. Another John Woo film, The Killer, inspired the two-handed shooting and the two-way standoff. And despite accusations of ripping off the plot of this obscure Hong Kong thriller, City on Fire, Tarantino's newly minted reputation was bulletproof.
I love you, honey bunny.
Everybody be cool, this is a robbery!
Any of you fucking pricks move! And I'll execute every motherfucking last one of you!
Outrageously violent, utterly quotable and ingeniously constructed, Pulp Fiction was one of the most startling American films of the 90s. And again, the influences were there. This dance scene is modelled on French New Wave director Jean-Luc Godard's 1964 film Band Apart. Tarantino also made a nod to his love of westerns.
You want that gun, don't you, Zed? Go ahead and pick it up. I want you to pick it up.
You want that gun? Pick it up. I wish you would.
But the Tarantino engine was about to run out of puff. In 1995, his part of the awkward anthology film 4 Rooms passed without notice. And the following year, he wrote and starred in From Dusk Till Dawn. While fun, it wasn't much better than 4 Rooms. His next seemingly major film was in 1997, Jackie Brown. Pam Grier was cast as a tribute to her part in 70s blaxploitation films, but this film also failed to fire. Then, in 2002, he started guest starring on his favourite sexy and dark TV show, Alias. But the old Tarantino was about to come back to life.
How'd I look?
It was a test of like, well, how good are you?
Tarantino obviously believed in Kill Bill Volume 1. He promoted it relentlessly around the world. Shot partly at the famous Shaw Brothers studios in China, Kill Bill Volume 1 was clearly dominated by 70s Eastern cinema, as personified by Sonny Chiba,
But some people call me the Street Fighter,
who played swordmaker Hattori Hanzo in Kill Bill 1. And Uma's yellow jumpsuit is a replica of that worn by Bruce Lee in Game of Death. Also, the eye masks worn by the Crazy 88 were from Bruce Lee's The Green Hornet. The style of swordplay and bloodletting is modelled on the Japanese series Lone Wolf and Cub. Despite the early criticism, spotting the influences is now part of the fun of Tarantino films. Where Kill Bill Volume 1 was Eastern, Kill Bill Volume 2 is Western. So expect a spray of Sergio Leone references.
That woman deserves her revenge.
Tarantino's next film, Inglourious Bastards, is another spaghetti western-influenced film, only it's set in Nazi-occupied France. Sounds tricky, but if anyone can make it work, Tarantino can. And while he wears his influences on his sleeve, his work remains original. Because you have to do more than copy to make a great film, as this 2002 Bollywood remake of Reservoir Dogs demonstrated in song.
Now, Amanda, what about this one? It would look gorgeous on you.
Oh, I agree. Oh, I'll look just like one of those skinny bitches on Strictly Dancing.
Yes.
Amanda, about the song.
George, I'm not listening. I'm caught up in a childlike fantasy world of dress-ups right now.
I'm okay with it.
You are?
Sure, I've just been thinking, and maybe we need to move it to the very, very end of the show so we sort of go out on a high.
That's great. Now I'm more excited than ever about singing on this show.
Oh, we have got to get that disconnected.
Next week, will the music download revolution ruin the music industry as we know it? Hugh Jackman has a big stake in vampire hunting, and hip-hop breaks the age barrier.
Well, we're nearly at the end of another show. Thanks for playing, but no one leaves empty-handed. We have a lovely parting gift for you. Remember when you had a cubby house? Sure, it was just an upturned refrigerator box with drawn-on windows. A special place of your own where you could go after every Leif Garrett video and just cry and cry. Anyway, our American allies have cranked the humble cubby house up several notches. La Petite Maison may sound like an exotic French whorehouse, but it's actually a company that custom builds lavish playhouses for rich people who want to spoil their children. And sure, it might be fun for kids to play house using a real house. I bet there wouldn't be too many wanting to play doctor using a real doctor. But before that, A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4.
When I was a little girl, one of my best friends had a great tree in her yard, and it had a plank of wood with 3 little plank steps hammered into the trunk of the tree. And we had so much fun in that little thing. And as I grew up and had girls of my own, it was sort of evolved from that.
Surprise! Surprise!
My husband wanted to be an architect when he was young, and I guess he won some awards, and he does something completely different now than architecture, but it's sort of a little bit of a dream of his. It's so worth it to have a playhouse, because to see the look on my girls' faces when they're making cookies in the oven, or when they're putting their babies to bed and closing the door, or even when they're washing the floor, it just brings a lot of joy to my heart.